Hello, dear students. Today we will go through Model 8, Project 2. Let's start. By the end of this video, you will be able to make a draft about where were you yesterday. Then revise and edit the first draft. Finally, write the final paragraph about where were you yesterday. For our lesson today, you will need to open your books to the same pages. Student Book, page 107, and your workbook, page 103. Make sure to open the correct pages. Follow the exercises in the video and write the answers in your books. First, let's go back to our friend from yesterday's lesson. Do you remember his name? Is it Adam, Bob, or Mike? Well done! His name is Bob. Do you remember where was Bob yesterday? He was at 3 places. Can you name these 3 places in order? Very good. First, he was at school. Then, at the bookshop. After that, he was at the playground. Very good. Today, we are going to write a paragraph about where were you yesterday. Before we start writing, let's take a look at Bob's paragraph. He started by yesterday morning. Then he chose a place. Then he described that place. Then he moved on to talk about yesterday afternoon. He chose a second place. Then he described that place and added another information about whom he was with. Finally, he talked about yesterday evening. He chose a third place. Then he described that place. Before we start writing immediately, we will go through the steps of writing. This way, it will be easier to make our writing perfect and with less mistakes. The steps are: first, the pre-writing, then the first draft, revise, edit, and finally, the final draft. Don't worry, I will tell you what each of them means in a moment. The first step is pre-writing, the brainstorming. In this stage, you are going to think about your topic, look at the helping questions, and brainstorm ideas. Open your workbook, page 103, Activity 1. Let's start. We will brainstorm the most important parts of our paragraph. We will write down our ideas here in workbook, page 103, Activity 1. Remember, this is only brainstorming, so we don't have to write full sentences. Yet, we can use words, phrases, or short sentences. Are you ready to start? Let's see some words we can use. Here are some words we can use. In question number 1, where were you yesterday morning? You can write school, park, forest, or home. Number 2, how was it? You can describe that place by interesting, boring, or scary. Number 3. Where were you yesterday afternoon? You can write art gallery or amusement park. Number 4. Who was there? You can write my family, my friends, my cousins. 5. Where were you yesterday evening? Mall, cinema, museum. The last question, number 6. How was it? You can describe it by noisy, quiet, fun. Now, I want you to pause the video and organize your ideas by writing full sentences. Welcome back. This is my version of brainstorming. You can use it as a guide to help you organize your ideas too. For example, I wrote, I was at home. It was boring. I was at the forest. I was with my family. I was at the cinema. It was quiet. Now that we finished the brainstorming step, let's move on to step 2, the first draft. In this stage, we are going to write our first draft. We are going to write sentences and join them into a paragraph. Are you ready to start writing? Here we go. We are at the same page of workbook, page 103, but now we will move on to activity number 2. This is activity number 2. This is my first draft. Let's read it together. Yesterday morning, I was at home. It was boring. Yesterday afternoon, I was at the forest. I went with my family. We had lunch. After that, in the evening, I was at the cinema. I watched a movie. It was quiet. Now, maybe you see some mistakes in my writing. I know you are very smart, but don't worry about any mistakes now. We will correct them in the next step. Step number 3. Revise. Revising is reading your first draft and making changes to make your writing look better. You can add more words or sentences. You can remove things that you don't need. You can move some words to change the order of your sentences. And you can substitute, change some words in your paragraph to make it more interesting. This is what we call arms strategy. Okay, let's go back to my first draft. Let's read it again and try to make the sentences longer and better. I think I will add some big words to my sentences. Take a look. I will add this sentence about the weather. The weather was cool. And we had lunch near the river, so I added another place. I described the movie. It was scary. And also I added that I was with my friends. And I described my friends. They are not scared of the movie. Now we will move to step 4. Edit. Edit means to correct any spelling, punctuation, and grammar mistakes. You can call the cops for help. Do you remember what COPS stands for? Very good. The C stands for capitalization. Names, countries, beginning of sentences, days, and months. O stands for organization. Number of sentences, correct tenses, enough spaces. P stands for punctuation. Full stop, comma, question mark. And the last letter, S, stands for spelling. Okay, let's go back to my draft and find the mistakes there. I need to be careful when I use capital letters. They aren't scared. I used the wrong tense. I should stick to the correct tense, which is the past, because I'm talking about yesterday. Here, I forgot the full stop. And here, I used a comma instead of a full stop. I have one spelling mistake. Finally, we reached the last step, which is final draft. Write your final draft. Do your best to make your writing special. Don't forget to use neat handwriting. Make your teacher proud. You can pause the video to take a look at my final draft. Are you all done? Because I cannot see your writing. I want you to use this 5-star writing checklist to give yourself a star for everything you did right. So, you used capital letters at the beginning of your sentences. You get 1 star. You ended your sentences with punctuation marks. 2 stars. You used finger space between words. Very good. 3 stars. You checked your spelling. No mistakes. 4 stars. Very good. Finally, you used neat handwriting. Amazing. 5 stars. How many stars did you collect? I'm so proud of you. Today we made a draft about where were you yesterday. Revised and edited the first draft. Wrote the final paragraph about where were you yesterday. Now we have reached the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you soon.